Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over all of the books that I read in February. I think I read about 10 books this month, and because it's Black History Month, I decided to read mainly books from Black authors. All the books that I read were on my Kindle just because I'm trying to save money and not purchase so many physical books. I do have a trip coming up. I have my trusty iPad here because Lord knows if I don't write down notes of what I read, I will forget. The moment that I put down a book, it has already left my mind, and all I know is the rating. The first book that I finished was A Little Sin by Rawnie Sabor. Girl, this shit was spicy. This book, I don't even know where to begin. It had me kicking my feet, twirling my hair, giggling, like I was in love. I really should just start giving reviews about the books as soon as I finish them, because I'm looking back at this and I'm like, I know that I really liked this book, but I don't remember what happened. So basically it's about this girl named Violet. What's the other bitch's name? This book follows Violet, who is a super high-strung event coordinator, and Reina, who is one of the 7 sins. Basically they form an agreement. It's a dom-sub agreement. I'm not gonna get into it. The plot of the story, I was just expecting straight smut, to be honest, but I was pretty surprised by how much I loved like the plot line of this, the psychology behind the characters, the passion behind the characters. Don't even get me started. A thing that I really liked about this book is how easy it was to follow when it came to like the world building, because I know sometimes fantasy or paranormal books, like it can be a little bit harder to get into because there's so much info dumping and different names and languages, but this one was pretty straightforward. I found Violet's insecurities, her tendencies to overthink, her issues with like her self-worth and all of that sort of stuff, I found that really relatable, which is probably not the best thing, but just the way that it was written, I love being able to relate to a character. And if there's one thing I'm gonna say, it is read the table scene. I feel like I don't have to say anything else, just read the table scene and you will know what I mean. Tropes in this book were dom sub, coming out later in life, and mommy issues. I think I already said, but I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. The second book that I read was also by Rawnie Sabor, and it's called The Kiss of Seduction. I gave this one a 4.5 stars. This book follows Evie and Natalia. Before you read this book, please read the trigger warnings. I'm gonna say this for every book, honestly. I'm just gonna say this right now. Please read the trigger warnings for every book, because you never know. There's some gory shit, there's some trauma, a lot of miscommunication between the 2 main characters, which had me screaming at the fucking pages basically the whole time. And I was like, yo, you guys just need to like talk to each other. In the end, like the plot, I really like the storyline. This one had a little bit more otherworldly elements to it than the previous one, which I really enjoyed, because I haven't read fantasy in a hot minute, but yeah, I give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Third book that I read is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, and I gave this one a 4.5 stars. This is the first book in the Skyline series, and it was so hilarious. Like, I could definitely see this being a TV show. And then when I looked it up, I saw that they're actually making it into a TV show. So I was like, fuck yeah, I need to watch this. It was giving me kind of like Sex and the City vibes. Hendrix was hilarious. She is one of the 3 friends, and she reminds me a lot of Samantha from Sex and the City. The dialogue in the book is absolutely hilarious. Like I was kicking my feet, laughing, giggling the entire time that I was reading it. It's a dual POV between Yasmin and Josiah, and they are divorced, but they still work together, and they work really well as like co-parenting. They slowly start to rekindle their love. And I just thought this story was so beautiful. Kennedy Ryan writes really emotional characters. The pacing of the book is perfect, and within the first few chapters, I could already feel my heartstrings being pulled at. The dual POV was so cute, because I love a good dual POV in a romance, because you can just see like the different ways that people think about each other, and it's like so obvious that you guys still love each other, so just fucking like talk and get back together. Hello. Like, obviously there's more complicated things. This book had me reminiscing and looking back on memories that weren't even my own memories. I just felt the nostalgia is so heavy, because they kept going like back and forth in time, and the way that Yasmin was like thinking about her relationship with Josiah. It was so cute. Like, I want to love like that. Yo, I read so many romances this month and like past Valentine's Day. I will say this now, and I will say it again over and over and over and over again, but I love a good slow burn. I'm a sucker for a slow burn. Like, don't kiss until the last page type of slow burn. Maybe it's the Filipina in me. If you ever watched a Filipino movie, if you know, you know, but I love the tension. I love the build up. I love the will they, won't they, like that shit gets me going. Like shit gets me like so excited. I love a friends to lovers. I love an enemies to lovers if it's done right. But in this book, just like the tension between the two, because obviously they have a history, it was done so well. And as for spice, it wasn't super spicy, but there was definitely some spice, just not the level that I'm used to. And honestly, recently, like I've not really been liking spice. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just like too lonely and whatever, but I don't know. I just haven't been like really caring for smut in books, except for Rawnie Sabor. Like she could get it. Her books could get it. But I don't know. This one had like, I think the perfect amount for me. If you haven't picked up a Kennedy Ryan book, go pick one up. The next book that I read is called Sweet Like Honey by Aricka Alexander. And I was really disappointed by this book. It was recommended by so many people when I searched up like Black authors, and also when I searched up sapphic romances, and this had both of them. I was so disappointed. I gave this 2 stars. I don't even want to talk about it, but let's just get into it. One thing that was funny for me was, okay, so it basically follows a billionaire, her old college roommate, and they were supposedly in love back then, and they meet again 5 years later, fall in love within literally a day. She asked her to be her girlfriend, and I'm just over here like, okay, you all. Like they literally came together so fast, and I'm like, this is like not, I don't know. I think I like more realistic stories where I can like put myself in their shoes and try to like imagine that being me. Obviously not when it's like fantasy, but I don't know, this was just like way too quick for me. And it was also funny because at one point they were like $3.5 million house. It had 8 bedrooms, 10.5 bathrooms, 2 pools, a tennis court, a basketball court, a sauna, a gym, game room, and a guest house. And I'm thinking, I live in BC, so like in Vancouver you could get like a shoebox for that price. It's funny reading books and like seeing how much you could get for like $2 million, $3 million, and then when you look at like where I live, you could get a shoebox. You could be lucky if you get like 2 bathrooms with that. Anyways, that was just a random little fact. The book was written very casually. It wasn't like a work of art per se, but I did like that aspect because I don't know, it was just something fun and light in between like the 2 books that I read before and after this one. I really like to do that. I like to read like a more emotionally intense book and then put in something light and fluffy just to like give myself a break and not be like crying 24/7. I really liked Adrian, like the main character, the billionaire. She was just like the perfect girl. Like she was so thoughtful and so just like so sweet towards towards Drew Honey. I liked that the book had representation of more diverse body types, because I feel like every single romance that I read is all like the same body type. I feel like I want to read more books like that. This definitely has spice. Definitely has spice. Definitely has spice, that's all I'm gonna say. The book was pretty short, so the tension wasn't really there, and like I said before, I really like tension, and I really like a slow burn. But like I said, right off the jump, they were get into it. Like this bitch was her girlfriend the day after they hung out. Actually, I think it was like their first date. She was like, do you want to be my girlfriend? And she was like, yeah. Like, okay, when is it my turn? The end, I don't know, the end was kind of boring. Oh, fuck, my foot is asleep. Straight from the jump, they started dating. They're going on all these beautiful dates, they're going on trips, blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, now what? Like I kept thinking that like something bad was gonna happen, and like yeah, there was a little bit of like, you know, drama, but it wasn't even between the 2 main characters. So I was like, okay, are you guys not gonna fight? Like, am I just crazy? The 5th book that I read was A Love Song for Ricki, Wilde by Tia Williams. And you guys, I don't think I'll ever find a book like this. Like this, I gave it 5 stars. I loved this book. This book was so beautiful. The main character was so relatable with the way that she expresses herself, her self-consciousness when it comes to making friends, finding true love. Because at one point in the beginning, there was like a little monologue moment where she was really worried about how she just thinks that she's way too different. She doesn't think that there's that one true love for her. She has a hard time making friends, and I was like, girl, me too. Like I felt that in my soul, and I was like, okay. So straight off the jump, I really liked the main character. I felt a connection with her. So it basically follows this girl, oh shit, I can't remember her name. girl, it's literally in the title. So it follows this girl, Ricki Wilde, and Ezra Breeze, two artists who feel compelled to, you know, be around each other. And they form this connection that is unstoppable, and it's so hard to explain why they just can't stay away from each other. It's like two magnets. It goes back in time. There's two different POVs. It's really interesting to see the different personalities in the different POVs. And I love when they fucking do that in books. Obviously, an author will have like their writing style, but then when it's two different characters and when you can really tell like the difference in their personalities from their point of view, I just think is so magical. Ricki Wilde, she's a little bit, you know, out there. She's extravagant, this kind of chaotic energy around her, and you can tell when you're reading her chapters. Versus Breeze, chilled, like laid back, like he's got like his kind of shit together. He has his mind made up, and I don't know, girl. He is fine. Not only am I a sucker for a dual POV, I am a sucker for like a nostalgic POV. I think I said that already, but just going back in time and like really feeling the history, how it shaped today is just so intriguing to me. So I read this on my Kindle, but this is a book that I would definitely want like a physical copy of, and I want it right now because I want to reread it and I want to highlight everything, and I just want to like hold it, sleep with it at night, and I put it under my pillow. So Ezra Breeze, Ezra, whatever you want to call him, the way that he's so honest about his feelings for Ricki, the way that his like unfiltered feelings just come through, gets the people going.
Gets the people going.
Like, I love it when a man can say what he wants to say and not be playing fucking games. And that's hard to find. This is a good man, Savannah. This is a good man. From the beginning, straight from the fucking beginning, not a single sentence was ordinary. Every sentence was so beautiful. It was like poetry. The entire book was just straight poetry. Like, it was so beautifully written. Like, I want to hold it. This book, like I said, it was a romance, but it was definitely more than that. It had substance, it had history, it had culture. There's one thing about me is I love a good magical realism. There was definitely a magical element. Like, it kind of reminded me of, there's this book that I read. This book kind of reminded me of Divine Rivals, only because of the magical realism in it and the romance, and it just faded love. Like, it just makes you realize that love is really that magical. And I'm a lover girl. I am a lover girl till I die. I will love with all of my heart, and I don't give a fuck how many times I get hurt. I will still continue to love with all of my heart. The 6th book that I read, I don't even know how, like, this book got me fucked up. I don't even know how to get into it, but it was Cutthroat by Octavia Grant. Read the trigger warnings, please, on this book. Like I said, read the trigger warnings, but this one definitely, like, it was, this book was only like 200 pages or something, but it was absolutely diabolical. Like, if there's one word to describe this book, it would be diabolical. So much fucking shit was happening. It was one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. Like, I genuinely don't even know how to describe this book. Basically, the main character, what's her name? I'm so bad at remembering names, so let me just say main character. Basically, the main character finds out that her husband was cheating on her with her sister. She just goes on this journey for revenge. The writing was not that great. It wasn't as bad as Sweet Like Honey. Sorry, girl, but that one needed some help. It definitely felt like a Kindle Unlimited book. It definitely felt like something on Wattpad, but I don't even give a fuck because the first few chapters had me hooked. I was like, girl, what is going on? I could not put that shit down. I'm pretty sure I read all of these books at least within 1 or 2 days. I was on a roll this month. I was on a fucking roll. The entire time that I was reading this book, all I could say or all I could think was, girl, what the fuck? Huh? What? Like, you, huh? No words. That's all I'm gonna say. If you are looking for something crazy to just entertain you, definitely read Octavia Grant. I read another one. I'll get to that after. That one I gave, I don't know how many stars I gave that one. I think I gave that one like let's just give it a 4, because even though the writing wasn't the best, it had me hooked. I was sad. The 7th book that I read was Real by Kennedy Ryan, and another 5-star book for me. This one was so beautiful. Like, the first Kennedy Ryan book, yes, it was beautiful. So when I first read this book, tell me why, in literally like the first chapter, this girl's sister slept with her fiance, and the book that I read before was her husband. What is going on? Bitches gotta stop sleeping with their sister's man. Like, that's crazy work. I can never. But anyways, it follows Neva and Colton. Neva is an aspiring actress and Colton is a big time director. He cast her in his movie. As they start to collaborate on this movie, they get closer. There's scandal, there's romance, there's passion, and it's just, this book was so beautiful. I don't really like modern things in books like iPhones and TikTok and slang like that, but the way that Kennedy Ryan does it, it's really like I'm envisioning it as like a movie or as a show. Like, I don't mind it. The way that she does it is really relatable, and she gets the pass because I actually fucked with it. The dual POV on this book, again, was done really well because when it leaves off, it had me questioning like what's happening, and I was sad. I read this book so quick. I just wanted to like know, like I couldn't put it down. I had to know what was happening next. The tension, the slow burn on this book was done so well. I was on the edge of my fucking seat the entire time. And I also really enjoyed Desi's story. They're creating a documentary about this singer from the 50s, and it kind of shows a little bit of her story, and I really did enjoy her story. I just want to say, Cannon could get it. Cannon, the man that you are. He was so thoughtful. And I also really loved the friendship aspect between Takira and Neva. I just thought that they had a really great bond. And it's nice to see in a romance because then it's not always just like, oh, the man. This book needs to be made into a movie. If it's not already being like in the process of being made into a movie, please, Kennedy, please turn this into a movie. Like, I would watch this. And here's another thing. If I cry during a book, automatically 5 stars, automatically. And I cried so many fucking times during this book, so many times, especially towards the end. I was bawling. 8th book that I read, also by Kennedy Ryan. If you can't tell, I really enjoyed her books. Next one is called This Could Be Us, and this is the 2nd book in the Skyland series. This one follows Soledad, who is Yasmin's best friend. Honestly, like, I was going into it thinking it was a romance, but it was in a way. It was more like a self-romance. It follows Soledad, who finds out at the very beginning of the book that her husband is basically embezzling $6 million from the company that he works at. They have 3 kids together. The accountant who found out about all the embezzlement, Judah Cross, comes into her life. They form a friendship, and the friendship starts brewing into something more, and it's dramatic. Our kids can't find out that she's basically, talking to the guy that put their dad in prison. There is so much drama in this book, but the underlying aspect of it was self-love. I feel like this book came to me at like the perfect time because I am kind of going through that journey. I know, who isn't, honestly? But like, I'm really just trying to focus on being by myself and just like finding that self-love within, me. It was just really inspiring. The friendships in this book are done so well between Yasmin, Soledad, and Hendrix. Like, their trio is just friendship goals. They're so cute. I love their dynamic. I honestly can't wait to read about Hendrix's story. That's not on Kindle Unlimited, so I think I have to go order it. I'm really excited to read her story because she's kind of like the crazy, spunky one. Cool aunt that's been single, Samantha Jones vibes. This one definitely is a very, very, very slow burn. The last book that I read, this one was absolutely psychotic, diabolical as well. It was only 70 pages. I obviously finished it in one day, but I really liked it. And it was another Octavia Grant book called Dear Vicky. And it's basically about this bag boy who meets this woman in his cashier line at the grocery store, falls in love with her. And he is delusional as fuck. I don't want to give too much away, but he falls in love with her and he starts going on a rampage. He stalks her and he writes her letters. It's diabolical. It's absolutely diabolical. But like, the thing is, you will never know what's gonna happen next, and I love that about Octavia Grant's books. So I gave it a 4.5 stars because that shit had me hooked, and I was not putting that book down until I was finished. Props to her, because the imagination that she has had me thinking like, girl, are you okay? Do you need therapy? Octavia, are you good? Are you okay? Because I feel like I need therapy after reading that book. So that's everything that I read in February. I'm currently reading The Perfect Find by Tia Williams, and I'm still reading Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. I'm almost done that one. I think I'm gonna finish it today. The Perfect Find by Tia Williams is absolutely hilarious. I saw that they made it into a movie, and it's like a rom-com, and it's just, the dialogue in this book is like, I can really visualize it being in a movie. Like, it's just so funny. I literally was cackling out loud. The main character, she just has that like chaotic energy where you're like, you feel so sorry for her. Like, she's like in her 40s, she's going through a divorce, she's kind of at rock bottom. She gets a new job at her, like basically her enemy's empire. She hooks up with this guy, finds out he's her boss's son, and that they're gonna be working together, and he's 20 years younger than her, and it's just the dynamic is hilarious. And I'm only about halfway through, so I'll be talking about it in my next recap. I'm really enjoying it so far. That is everything that I read in February. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you watched all the way through, let me know in the comments, what are you currently reading and how many books did you read in February? I know that 10 is a lot for 1 month. I just have a lot of time on my hands. I'm also just a readaholic, and I think that reading on my Kindle honestly makes it so much faster. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. Bye.